Coming up on Look Today, well, the Oklahoma training track in Saratoga opens today. I've got details. And we've got an update on Moore Hall. That's a proposal in Saratoga. More on that coming up. And we have our weekly Look at the Movies with Jackson Murphy. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I'm J. Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with the Queensbury Volunteer Fire Department. They're here to talk about their mission to recruit more volunteers. And I also sit down with Ben Bernard. Now, he's the owner of the Glens Falls Dragons baseball team, and he's here to talk about the upcoming 2016 season. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, we've got these headline stories. In our lead story, the Oklahoma training track in Saratoga Springs opened today. Horses from all over the country are being shipped into Saratoga to begin their training for the 2016 track season. Florida, Belmont, and Kentucky are some of the places where these horses are coming from. Now, part of the early transitional work for acclimating the horses to the track is getting them accustomed to using the gates. Now, once this is completed, the horses receive gate cards. Check this out. That's the equivalent to someone getting their driver's license. Well, we spoke to Eddie Sabelli. He's the assistant starter for the New York Racing Association.
Pretty much the transition is now they're getting into vans and they're getting ready to come up here and for their training for the spring.
That means summer is right around the corner. All right, in other news, well, we've got an update on Moore Hall on Union Avenue in Saratoga Springs. Now, that's affectionately referred to as the Pink Palace. It's the former Skidmore Dormitory Hall, and it's going to be demolished and replaced with 26 residential apartments. The developer is Sonny Bonaccio, and he gave the proposal at the April 12th Zoning Board meeting. Now, this is the third proposal to remodel this building. Now, the first proposal wasn't economically viable, and the second one was met with a lot of resistance from the neighboring residents. Sonny stated that the concerns of residents are important to him and has taken them into full consideration when drafting this new proposal. Well, the zoning board will meet again on May 12th, and we're going to keep you updated. We placed a call into Sonny's office today. We're going to get him for an interview next week. Switching from news to weather. Well, the sun was out today with temperatures in the 50s. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a first look at the weekend weather forecast. And back to the news. Well, the American Legion National Commander visited Saratoga Springs yesterday. Dale Barnett gave a press conference at the Holiday Inn. Now, he spoke about the Legion's core mission to serve men and women in uniform, veterans, and local communities. He also gave an update on the Legion's role as a strong voice in the nation's capital, fighting for veterans' rights, as well as opposing budget cuts for national defense. Now, we were at the press conference, and we spoke to Dale Barnett.
Today I'm here in New York, and we were over at the Arsenal today, and you make evaluations of all sorts of issues to include national defense, and oftentimes you're at VA hospitals and you're at veterans homes across the state, making assessments of how the veterans are being treated and what you can do to better veterans' quality of life in the state that you're in.
In other news, U.S. Representative, our Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, raises concerns for non-traditional college students. Now, Stefanik chaired the House Republican Policy Committee in Washington. Now, she proposed a bill to provide flexibility in application deadlines for non-traditional college students. Now, I want to tell you what that means. For example, spouses of military members who are attending college will often have to skip a year or two due to military transfers. Now, in most cases, colleges do not admit students after deadlines, which proves to be a real problem when students are forced to move location midterm. Well, Stefanik is running for re-election in November. And Now, it's time for our weekly Look at the Movies with Jackson Murphy. He's going to give us an update on new movies at home and in the theater.
Hi everybody, I'm Jackson Murphy. Here's your Look TV look at movies. Something new for everybody in theaters this week, starting with The Jungle Book. This live-action version of the classic story features the voices of Scarlett Johansson, Idris Elba, and Bill Murray, and stars young Neil Sethi as Mowgli. The Jungle Book is rated PG. The Barbershop is back in business. Barbershop: The Next Cut is the third installment of the popular comedy franchise. Ice Cube and Cedric the Entertainer are back, joined by Common, Regina Hall, and Nicki Minaj. It's rated PG-13. And the action thriller Criminal stars Kevin Costner as a death row inmate who has the memories of a murdered CIA agent implanted in his brain. Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Oldman are also part of the impressive cast. Criminal is rated R. New at home is the psychological thriller The Forest, about a young woman searching for her missing twin sister in a spooky Japanese forest. Enjoy the movies, and I'll see you back here next week. I'm Jackson Murphy.
Wow, lots of good stuff. And don't forget, you can tune in every Friday for our Look at the Movies. Up next, I sit down with the Queensbury Volunteer Fire Department, and they're here to talk about their mission to recruit more volunteers. Plus, I also sit down with Ben Bernard. He's the owner of the Glens Falls Dragons baseball team, and we're going to talk about the upcoming 2016 season. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000.